Got your top track in. You've now lined up the bottom with a string line from end to end. You can get your straight line level with the top track. Your bottom track will go in then. Obviously once you've measured the space for the door to go in. Now that your bottom track's in, you can measure the uprights to go in, obviously starting with the first one that's got a metal corner on it. This here is the bottom track, so this is what holds the door, the uprights, your guide pins right at the front of this, so that keeps the door from swinging back and forth, keeps it in place. Obviously when you're cutting these uprights it's best to leave a little play, 5mm or so, just so it's not too tight on the metal. This one should usually go in first, provided you have access at the back to put these ones in. If you haven't, then they would go in first, slide all the way across. Depending on your opening, whether you're going to use 6x3 plasterboards or 8x4 plasterboards, you would space these out accordingly because the centres would change. On a 6x3 plasterboard they're 450, on an 8x4 plasterboard they're 1200 and 600. This is in, your uprights have gone in. You're now ready to close the system up basically. Once these are in, you can board up the top. There's nothing for you to do up the top now above the track. You can start measuring up to board these. This here is my touch latch for the back of the door. It's simply operated from the front of the door. You just push it here. Pops open. Usually get the option with a soft closer. Now depending on what you're doing at the back, you can have it at the front or the back. This one's got it at the front, so the door just closes on its own. Haven't got a handle at the moment, but you usually have a flush handle here that would slide right into this little opening that we've got. We usually leave about 5-6mm from the reveal to the face of the door. There's obviously some handles are 4mm wide, thick, so you want to give yourself a little play. Gravity pull usually goes into the side of the door. It consists of that. You just swing that down, put your finger in, pull the door out. This one locks in itself, spring operated. If you haven't got this, you would need this. This now is optional because you've got that. Depending on what the client wants, they can either always just push it or they can always just pull it. This we've just done as an access panel so people can see the operation of this magnet. Guide pins in, metal uprights are in. You'll now start to put together your jamb, which your door slides into. The instructions for the jamb are usually provided with whatever kit you've ordered. In this case we've got the CELO kit fire rated system. So we've got 3 components that are stuck together, creating a little pocket for yourself. Fire strips go in the middle. Once the fire strips are in, if the client's having a painted system, then we can work directly with these reveals. All we do is just architrave that, set our margin, 10mm margin, and just architrave around that. Where they want it colour matched so it suits the door, we've obviously cut matching architrave that will close the system up. This will be your final piece. Once this is in, the system is fully closed, operational, you've checked everything, and you're happy. If you're happy, the client's going to be happy basically. If you didn't have this system, the push open system, or a front closer, what they provide you with usually is these little door stops. Basically just a standard door stop, door clicks into it and it locks. Quite easy to pull away from it. The benefit with the CeeLo back door stop is it can be operated from the front of the door. So you can push that back and forth. Once you've set it into the position you want, pre-drill through the metal hole that they supply, put a screw in, and that'll keep the back door stop in place. For the front end, obviously we've used a soft close system, Allen key tightened, so again it's just a bit of figuring out exactly where you want the door to stop. You might have to loosen and tighten it a couple of times till it's spot on, but quite a nice little setup. Once you're happy with everything, your reveals are in and they're flush with the door, everything's leveled and you've gone over everything again, you can now start to close up your system. This is a single boarded system. As I said before, if it was a double boarded system, this metal profile would be extended